those small numbers that are committing crimes, we need to modify the sanctuary city law that if you commit a felony, a violent act, we should be able to turn you over to ICE and have you deported. It is a right to live in this city, and you should be not committing crimes in our city for doing so.
So we have come full circle. The mayor of New York City wants to end its status as a sanctuary city. Let's talk about it. Here are the clips of both the mayor and the governor begging for migrants to come to New York City.
As you know, the Statue of Liberty is inscribed. It says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled young masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse to a teeming shore." And that statement encapsulates our values. We want people to come here, despite where they came from or despite the circumstances that drove them to this country and to this state. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you. And the richness of the culture and the diversity and the food and the restaurants that we know are going to be coming because of these efforts are beyond measure. It's an extraordinary part of our story. And it's woven into the story of New York, and it makes us more vibrant. I'm from Buffalo's. The infusion of refugees from around the world has really made this community a place I grew up, a steel town. A lot of people left because they couldn't find jobs for a long time. It was the refugees from around the world that have made it such an incredibly fascinating community again. Same with New York City, same with Albany, same with Syracuse and Rochester. So our message to the world is, send us your people, send us those who need the cloak of comfort that we can demonstrate as New Yorkers with big hearts and open arms, and we'll provide a safe haven.
Lady Liberty sits in our harbor. New York City is the welcoming mat for the entire globe.
So as you can see, the politicians of New York State and New York City were begging for migrants to come. Matter of fact, AOC says the migrant crisis is a false narrative. There is no crisis.
While being as xenophobic and anti-immigrant as they are, and while ginning up this false narrative about this being a crisis. And by the way, by then also preventing and blocking any legislation that would provide not just a path to citizenship, but a path to work papers, a path to allowing people who want to work to be paired with American businesses who need people to work. And we can call it caravans, we can call it migrant crises, we can call it family separation, and they will just recycle it over and over and over again in order to gin up, just so much animosity and destruction in this country and racism in this country, because that's the only thing that the Republican Party even is standing on.
So AOC says the migrant crisis is a false narrative. And it's Republicans, the evil Republicans, that are putting out that false narrative. But she fails to realize the mayor of the city that she represents, who is a Democrat, is the one saying this migrant crisis will destroy New York City.
This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City.
So as you can see, it is the Democrats that are saying this migrant crisis will destroy New York City. It's destroying our country. These are Democrats and not Republicans. Now, just so I can refresh your memory on what a sanctuary city is. A sanctuary city is a city that will not turn over people who are accused of crimes to immigration officials because they know immigration officials will likely deport them. So a sanctuary city says, well, if someone's arrested, then we will not tell immigration services, so they will be deported. We're going to keep it a secret. We're not going to work with them at all. But now the problem is that you have all of these violent gangs who are coming to New York City and attacking police officers. And after they attack police officers, they're let free back on the streets. INS is not notified, and they can stay in New York City and collect those migrant benefits. Even the governor is telling the city to end this sanctuary city nonsense and send the criminals back to where they came from. You think I'm joking?
As the governor joined those who are calling for any undocumented attackers on police to be deported.
Get them all and send them back. You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anybody.
Now, for those of you who don't know, there's been a migrant gang who's been going around robbing people on the street, stealing their phones and their identity. Check it out.
Meanwhile, on Monday morning, the NYPD arrested around 7 migrants accused of carrying out around 62 robberies. Many of these migrants used mopeds and electric scooters to snatch things like iPhones and wallets. These men then sold the phones to the migrant posing as a ringleader who would hack the phones to steal a person's bank information. The NYPD says these migrants primarily live in city-run shelters.
In recent months, a wave of migrant crime has washed over our city. They're essentially ghost criminals. No criminal history, no photos, no cell phone. Today is a hard-fought win.
Now, many of us use our phones for banking and for other things, and we think our phones are safe, even if they're lost. But as you can see, the migrants know how to hack into these phones and get all your personal information. So what happens if you lose your phone or your phone is stolen? What protection do you have? This is why I personally use Aura. Now, Aura is identity theft and fraud protection that is powered by artificial intelligence, because we live in a world where it's all artificial intelligence. Now, when you sign up with Aura, you get the identity and credit monitoring service, you get a password manager, antivirus protection, you get your own private VPN, home title monitoring service, and what I love, the data broker removal. Now, simply put, data brokers are the reason why you get these types of phone calls.
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty. You should have received something in the mail about your car's extended warranty.
Now, what Aura does is get you off of those lists so you stop getting those phone calls. Now, I don't get those calls anymore because I use Aura, and Aura has a deal for you. If you go to aura.com/Nate the Lawyer, they're going to give you a 14-day free trial so you can test it all out for yourself. That's aura.com/Nate the Lawyer. It's in the description and in the pinned comment. So now the city of New York has to deal with these unintended consequences. And those unintended consequences is begging for migrants to come there. The migrants eventually do. And now you don't have enough money to pay for these people, and crime is exploding. So there should be a reevaluation of the sanctuary city issue. But now, does that make Mayor Adams a racist? Does that make Governor Hochul a racist? Because remember, ALC says if you disagree with having migrants come in, you're a racist.
And we can call it caravans, we can call it migrant crises, we can call it family separation, and they will just recycle it over and over and over again in order to gin up, just so much animosity and destruction in this country and racism in this country.
Now, one of the more fascinating pieces about this story is listen to how the left-wing media is having a crazy time reconciling what the mayor is saying. Check out this clip from CNN.
New York City's Mayor Eric Adams is breaking with decades of precedent. Today, he called for drastic changes to the city's sanctuary city policies. The shift could land undocumented immigrants accused of a serious crime into the hands of ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. The mayor's new push comes in the wake of several high-profile crimes involving recently arrived migrants in the city of New York, including the recent shooting of a tourist during a robbery inside a Times Square clothing store. Here's how the mayor is justifying his desire for a shift.
I don't believe people who are violent in our city and commit repeated crimes should have the privilege of being in our city. I want to go back to the standards of the previous mayors, who I believe subscribe to my belief that people who are suspected of committing serious crimes in the city should be held accountable.
Now, is that reasonable? Is it reasonable that if someone shoots someone, if someone beats up cops, if someone's out there robbing people on camera, that we shouldn't send them to INS to be deported, right? We have to wait and continue to take care of them while they do that, while they commit crimes here in the city? So the mayor and I think the governor have woken up to the reality that if you come to the country and are committing crimes, you need to go back. And now that lesson and that hard reality, I think, is being thrown in the Democrats' face. But what do you think? Do you think I am anti-immigrant and racist like AOC thinks? Or do you think reasonable border policy makes sense? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.